Belarusian dictator Alexander Lukashenko declared himself president. I mean, what kind of a news this is anyway? News will be if Lukashenko did not become a president. Now that would be news. And that is just a routine for his 7th consecutive term in what he calls elections. On January 26th, he become, again, what he always was, a last dictator of Europe, and his elections are again internationally deemed as neither free nor fair. Nothing new. Lukashenko, the country's leader since 1994 and Russian dictator Vladimir Putin's closest ally, has long been accused of staging fraudulent elections in Belarus. In 2020, during the last presidential election, Lukashenko maintained power despite the country's most prominent opposition leader, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, receiving popular support. The Belarusian Election Commission claimed that Lukashenko won almost 87% of the vote, followed by regime-approved and little-known candidates like Sergei Sirankov with 3.2% or Oleg Gaidukevich with 2%. Some 3.6% of the ballots, though, voted against all candidates. "You can congratulate the Republic of Belarus. We have elected the president," said that little cute white dog that you see on the screen. Oh, sorry for that, said Igor Karpenko, the head of the Electoral Commission, early on January 27th. The commission claimed an 85.7% turnout. The now exiled opposition leader Tikhanovskaya was not so excited. Following the fabricated results in 2020, mass protests erupted in Minsk but were ultimately quelled by the support of Russia. According to the Belarusian human rights group Vyesna, over 60,000 citizens have been detained for political reasons since the 2020 election. Tikhanovskaya responded to the election result on January 26 by condemning the legitimacy of the vote and rejecting Lukashenko as president.
There are not elections, but a special operation to illegally cling to power. Lukashenko, propped up by Putin, holds 9 billion Belarusians hostage, drags us into war, and betrays our sovereignty. Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, the now exiled opposition leader.
Notably, Lukashenko declined to invite a mission from Organization for Security and Cooperation of Europe, OSCE, why would he, to observe the country's presidential elections. On November 22, state-run news outlet Belta reported that Lukashenko may completely shut down the internet during the 2025 presidential elections if protests similar to those in 2020 arise. "If the protest happens again, we will shut the internet down completely," Lukashenko said, admitting, by the way, that internet shutdowns during the protest in 2020 were carried out with his approval. While Belarus has not directly participated in the war against Ukraine, it has allowed the Kremlin to use its territory as a staging ground for its operations. The country is also cozy hosting Russian tactical nuclear arms on its territory. And a sweet touch to that absurd. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced on January 26th that Belarus had unilaterally released an American woman from detention. Rubio identified the U.S. citizen as Anastasia Nofer, who was detained earlier during former President Joe Biden's tenure. He did not provide details on the timing or reasons for her arrest, but we can. American woman was detained so Lukashenko could release her later, when back on throne, so to show how merciful he is. Eternal trick, just as Lukashenko is, right?